Okay, this is our second video. We're going to begin by downloading our example chapter, 2 John chapter 1. So there we go. Redirect it out to share file, and let's download it. And make sure you save it instead of opening up with your media player, because we're going to open it up with audio, with Ocean Audio. And I want it saved before I start editing. So we'll open it up in the folder there. There we go. I've opened it up 3 times. Great. So let's open up Ocean Audio. Let's get that fired up here. So let's just drop that right in there. So let's just drop that right in there. Boom. There we go. First thing I want to do is click on the I. The second tab over, Details, Artist. This is where we're going to add the metadata. That's going to explain what book this is, what number of the book it is, what chapter it is, how many verses are there, all the details that the parser is going to need to take and break this or de-chunk this source file for use in translationRecorder as a source file. I have the file here in JSON format, and I'm just going to, and I've prepped it ahead of time, so I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it straight into Ocean Audio into the artist field there. Let's take a brief look at that file once again. This is the template up on this line up here, Anthology, and you see the word replace. So anytime you see the word replaced, you've got to change, you've got to put in the real answer for that, except for contributor and marker. Those two fields are optional. So anthology in our case is either NT for New Testament or OT for Old Testament. Language, use the 2 to 3 letter number code that Wycliffe Associates uses. So EN for English, ID for Indonesian, PMY for Papa Malay. Version, ULB or UDB. This is a ULB recording. Slug. Slug is the book name, the 3-letter book name that we have. MAT for Matthew, MRK for Mark. In this case, 2JN for 2 John. Book number is the number that Wycliffe Associates uses for our book numbering system. In this case, 2 John is book number 64. Mode is either going to be chunk or verse. In this case, we're doing verse by verse. Chapter, self-explanatory, chapter 1. Start V, starting verse. We're starting on verse 1. NV, ending verse. We're ending on verse 13. And once again, contributor and marks are optional. This is a chart that lists both the book number and the short book name for all the books of the Bible. It's a global standard, and this is what you're going to want to follow. So for example, if we go down here to the 2 John, we can see that it's number 64 and 2JN. You might notice that there is no number 40. I believe that's in deference to the Apocrypha. So every book of the Bible has its own 3-letter code and a number. And you're going to want to use that in the slug field, in the slug and book number field. So back here in Ocean Audio, we can see we've pasted in the answers that I prepped ahead of time, and we're going to close that. And that was, once again, under the I tab. I and then Details. We want to change this 48 kilohertz and stereo to what translationRecorder is expecting. So double click on that and go from 48 kilohertz down to 44,100 hertz, or 44.1 kilohertz, however you talk about that. From 2 channels down to 1 channel, and click OK. Now we can see that we're down to one channel. Let's play. See what we have.
2 Yohanes pasal 1.
Put the marker line wherever we want. So I'm going to put it right there. And now I'm going to press Control K on a Windows machine, or because I'm on a Mac, Command K. And this brings up the verse marker tool. So instead of marker 1, I just want the number 1 there. So put in number 1 and hit enter. And this is adding more metadata to the audio file.
Salam dari Penatua.